Art is meant to be fun. Art is meant to be explored and to make us experimentative, adventurous, creative, imaginative, all those words that we can think of. It is first a form of exploration and expression. After that, we can think about beauty and all of those other things that we tack onto it. That's my personal belief. And I also believe that we were all born creative. Regardless of what religion you are, speaking personally, I believe that our Creator was very creative when He created us. And I'm sorry I keep using the word create over and over and over again. But from all of the trees to the birds, the insects that I hate, the people, all of nature, this is such, if we just look at the earth, it is so freaking creative. And the word says, 'cause I am a follower of Christ, it says that we were made in His image. And I believe that is the case in not just how we look, but also in how we think and how we act and how we move. And so when I say that I believe that humans are innately creative, imaginative, I genuinely believe that. But I also know that somewhere along the way, many of us lose our creativity. I know that there are a lot of us who started out as little kids and we drew some stick figures, or we drew some, like the head was a circle, the body was a triangle, and then we had the arms and weird looking hands and colored it in and was like, here, mommy, look, I drew us, or whoever, maybe not everyone has that experience, but it's a generic experience. And mom says, oh, this is so cute, and hangs it on the refrigerator, and it's so amazing. You feel so good. And then you go to school and you take your first art class. And they teach you the grid, or they teach you this is how you do this correctly. And they also teach you that you are going to be graded on something that was innately given to you by God. And along the way, those criticisms, some constructive, and honestly, from stories I've heard from people, some not so constructive, those criticisms strip away at our creativity. Those techniques that we learn, not all the time, I'm not speaking in absolutes, but they strip away our creativity. And some people grow up truly, genuinely believing, I'm not creative. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say that they are not creative, and they work in like the business field or real estate or something like that, and I'm like, no, everybody is so creative. Like the one lady, everybody's so creative. It's just that everyone's creativity shows up in a different way. And unfortunately, a lot of people have lost the creativity in fine art, in visual art, singing, dancing, all of those things. Nevertheless, we are all creative. And so for the most of my life, I spent a lot of my creativity in music. Although I have dabbled in several things, yes, drawing and designing clothes, creating jewelry and dancing, acting, but music was my main shebang until about 3 years ago when I put it down, I put it to rest, and I picked up watercolor. Now, in that moment, I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going. All I knew is that I was excited to try this new medium, and it was very exciting. And as time went on, sometimes I would get frustrated with watercolor because it's like, on one hand, I made a wonderful painting, and then on the other hand, what the hell is this? Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Or what's that popular meme or sound that's going around? Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Yeah, that was me. And because artists, we judge ourselves so heavily, I felt like a lot of times, most of the times, it was sometimes, maybe all the time, maybe shit. But over the past couple of months, ever since I picked up charcoal and decided to start doing mixed media, I've been more bold, more daring, more free in the art that I am creating. Am I still trying to get better at certain techniques and everything? Absolutely. But when I stopped focusing on trying to master watercolor and instead master the art of expression, oh my gosh, I have felt so much more free. It's just like, do I want to get better? Technically speaking, yes. But the most important thing to me in art is always expression. And there is beauty in expression, regardless of what level someone is at. even if someone is drawing stick figures. And honestly, I've seen lots of people draw stick figures on multiple pages and they flip through them and, come out with this really cool scene. It's stick figures, but that stuff looks totally cool. So it doesn't matter what level you're at, as long as you're creating expressively from the heart and the soul. And so recently, with me having let go of watercolor only, and I added in ink, I added in charcoal, a little bit of gouache, and now my water-soluble pastels, I'm just having the time of my life. And so one thing that I really like to do, which you guys see in this video, that helps me also to free up myself even more, is to trust my brain. Trust that I can draw something in, I won't say record amount of time, but I could draw something really quickly and it still look good. Now, I have not gone to school for drawing or anything like that. I simply draw at home when I want to, when I feel like it. And so what I would do sometimes is I will take an object and I will draw it in my longest amount of time, let's just say a minute. Then I will draw it again, same position, everything, in 30 seconds. And then I'll draw it again in 15 seconds. And then I'll draw it again in 5 seconds. And just see how amazing the brain is, how quickly it's able to process everything and draw stuff down. And I think we don't give our brains enough credit. There are so many people out here who are like, oh my gosh, I can't draw. But whenever I find myself in these time constraints, like you see here, I did 10 minutes of drawing for each thing, plus 3 minutes of shading, even though I kind of finished all of them in less than 10 minutes, but still 13 minutes per drawing. When I put myself in these time constraints, my brain is processing what I'm seeing a lot faster, and I'm wiping away all of the things that I would be stressing over if I were taking my time. And the things that I would be stressing over are all of those tiny little details, because I'm trying to get the likeness and I want to make sure the proportions are right. And I want to make sure that everything looks appropriate. But when I'm drawing quickly, I don't got to think about those things. I think about the generic shape, and that is genuinely how we see the world. I know a lot of people think that we see in detail, and in a way we do, but we really don't. When we look at something, we see the big picture. And then when we start to scrutinize something, we see the smaller picture. We look and we're like, oh my gosh, I can see the shadow that's right at the bottom of the object is really dark, but as the shadow goes out, it gets warmer and turns into an orange. We see, oh, I could see the light gets a little fuzzy around here, so the edges aren't as sharp, and this and that. Like, we see all of these minute details when we are scrutinizing the hell out of our reference. But when our brain is processing something quickly, we see the bigger picture. And I like that every time I do this exercise, I am mind blown. Like, yes, I know the brain processes quickly, but it's like in the time when it's happening, I'm like, oh, is this really coming together? Oh, this is crazy. This is amazing. And so that's how I felt when I was drawing this statue of a guy. It's a reference that someone in my Discord took from 3 different angles, and we're all working on it together. And I was like, okay, I'm going to give myself 10 minutes to draw it this way, that way, and that way. And I had the time of my life. And when it got to the hands, because I don't do hands, okay? Hands are the devil. I'm just kidding. Not really. And when I got to the hands, I was like, I don't know. I'm going to try my best, and we're just going to see how this goes. Well, once I actually finished the hands, and when I went back and looked at my video in a time lapse, I was like, you know what? These hands are kind of wonky, but they look kind of cool. And I loved that because I was drawing so fast, there was so much personality in the drawing, in those hands specifically. And I took the pressure off myself of being accurate and just put on, let's have fun and do this thing. So all of that talking. And then, of course, I decided to experiment with painting it in with watercolor. And I kid you not, I wish I could have shown like the full desktop. If you guys would see, I was hopping from image to image, changing colors like in real time, going between the 3 of them as I painted them just for fun. I wasn't trying to have the most shadows done perfectly and the blending and everything done perfectly. I was just like this is fun and experimentative. Let's just try painting 3 things at once. I mean, they're on the same page. Yes, but I would start with the first layer of the first thing, then go to a different color and go to the first layer of the second thing, then the third thing. Then I would bounce back to the first thing, second, third, first, second, third, over and over and over again. And I had so much fun. And the end result is not perfection, but I don't think it's imperfection either. I just think I had fun. That's it. So I guess the moral of the story is art is meant to be fun. Don't let anyone take that away from you. That's all. Wo Einemann.